Afternoon. Welcome guys back to the Ahn Rho Project, the psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, obstacles in our lives. So it's a self-healing process to reach the highest goals and ambitions that we have set for ourselves as well as those around us. We'll do a brief introduction, a brief summary as to how we break down the Ahn Rho Project into domains of life, subseries, analogies, and so on and so forth. Check out the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years straight to January 2021 and beyond for the updated versions, including copyright-free music, the live stream schedule, as well as how we divvy the stream into 11 segments into 3 phases across a 15-minute live stream, so it won't take too much of your time. That being said, let's dive into the second segment today as usual. Solve 8.5 override, system override version 5.8.5, a rule to break all other rules, a system principle to free myself from the system and be purely practical and get what most urgently needs done. And secondly, if you'd like to just skip ahead from the introduction as usual, just fast forward by about a minute and a half or 2 minutes into the stream, and then that's it. So let's just dive into content right now. As you can see on screen, there's a lot of phase 2 items still. This is new stuff that came after the previous live stream. I had 3 live streams today, so 2 be prior to this one, and this is the 3rd one, and hopefully the last one. Another one tomorrow morning will be a continuation of what we cover here today, because we can't cover it all once again. So take a look on screen. What you see is what you get. Just being real raw and genuine this cover. You can see there's a lot of photography, a lot of phase 2 items being digital stuff once again. So we have food, dietetics, nutrition, commentary and storytelling over materials and equipment and tools, conversations, phone calls, recordings, philosophy, education, lots of stuff. Let's get started with the top right hand corner, expanding. So you can see all this stuff here. You can see there's some soup, there's some sandwiches, class 2 items, food for my domestic guardians, as it is her birthday. And in the middle, we have some things to do with a phone call, has to do with basically, oh shoot, I just realized I didn't add those photography sessions in here, but holy shit, yeah. Did I not add it? I didn't add it. Oh, I added it. Okay, good. I was scared. That's a scare tactic right there to myself. So we have here the phone call, right? Good. Okay, so it's like recycling bin, garbage disposal, right? Utility services, and then we have some recordings here, conversations I had with a variety of different people over the course of the day, almost 5 different parties. Then we have some employment-related stuff at the bottom as well, education on the bottom right-hand side, and philosophy. So academia. Then we have here materials, the top left hand side corner of a segment of the region here, region E3, I believe, food in the middle, as well as, like I said, that recycling, garbage disposal calling for the residency, so residency, housing, household. And then at the very bottom we also have more food as well as a continuation of the services here, and me trying to take that phone call. So let's just dive right into it. Without further ado, we don't have any time to lose, because once we're done phase 2, which is all that stuff I just showed you, we have phase 3 to get to, which is all this stuff here. The entire room needs to be cleaned up, all this kind of stuff. So phase 3 is the most engaging and most active, interactive portion of the stream. Let's dive into the material for now. So segment 4 and 5, I want to get this over with immediately. We cannot leave this for tomorrow because we forget. There's a lot of stuff recorded here. There's about 3 recordings, auto recordings. You can't see it. This is just one individual one. You can see it for 2 hours, 24 minutes running. So what was covered? 5 interactions, I said. So let's just run through them real quick, as fast as we can. The first one was probably an interaction between me and my employer. So my employer, HR. So by the way, my employees and colleagues are all like family to me. They're amazing people. They have done so much for me and so much for each other, and I try to reciprocate, but honestly they've done far more for me than I have for them. And somehow MR has been very receptive, very open to me. I know exactly why, because she's been through the narcissistic abuse and domestic violence that I've been through, just in a different way, obviously. No person's experience is the same, and so she's understood that. And again, no names mentioned here, right? Privacy, confidentiality purposes. But the point is, I sent an email to her and I gave her a phone call today, and she's very receptive to me still, and I find that incredible. These are amazing people at the workplace. Understand, these are amazing people. Honest, hardworking, disciplined. They don't put problems on other people. They take care of responsibility themselves. MR's like this. And so overall, I had a great conversation with her, and I said, she said, they want me to be back, and I'm surprised, because I'm sure I've been such an asshole this entire time, and they're still receptive to me. So I'm so thankful for all these people, and so thankful for MR. Thank you, MR. Moving on. Second one was downstairs at the residency. So like I said, garbage disposal, all that waste disposal kind of stuff I was talking about earlier. The landlord came to me, asked me about the compost bin. The wheel fell off the previous week or something like that. And so 2 weeks ago. And so they returned it with it. The grandson gave it over to the service center, released a service ticket, and then they still haven't received it back. So I did a phone call for her. She asked me to do. Of course, she only speaks Chinese. So I called and then got the service recorder. And so that entire phone call was recorded between me and the service, as well as the conversation I had with the residency, the landlord. So that's 1, 2 for 2 right there. 3 actually, right? So that's 2 and 1. 3 conversations. Another one is between me and my biological mother, so my paternal guardians, my paternal and maternal guardians. So it's her birthday. Happy birthday to her. Mentioned this many times. Obviously, there was some stuff. So it turns out she came to me for pancreatic cancer, worried about CA199. Again, check the previous live streams right there. So it's that conversation about her worries and stuff. And then, dragging onto that, attached is the 5th one. Had to have a conversation about an hour and a half long with KW, which is a business partner of mine. She is a retired nurse, more than 25 years, 30 years of experience, and her husband's a researcher in protein synthesis. And so overall, very good people. I had about an hour and a half session with her, and she's talking to me about how to advise what to do for my biological guardian. So that's that. And then later on today, there might be a 6th conversation, but we'll cover that tomorrow morning. That's mostly a cousin, my cousin from my paternal side. So that's that. Okay, that's a lot. So you can see 6 minutes in now, probably. And I'm going to get rid of these two because it took way too much time. So let's talk about employment right here, right? So over countless stepping stones, this is the mail that I sent. This is the personal portion of the more professional portion. There's a professional portion that's more down to, that's just focused on the workplace material. And then here is focused on my personal material. So behind the scenes, what's going on. And I just send this to MR, again, the HR professional. She's a great individual. So over countless stepping stones, I've learned and been told from many sources, licensed psychiatrists, direct relatives, observations, experiences, common sense, wisdom, blah, 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 that we cannot change narcissistic caregivers into normal, understanding people, let alone grandiose NDP or narcissistic personality disorder married to a covert narcissist in behavior. It's in fact possible, I can now say. However, it costs almost everything from unsalvageable relationships to lost career potential, just trying to resolve narcissistic traumatic pasts. In the process, I've lost so many good friends, and so on. More frighteningly, we as the therapists gradually start to resemble covert narcissists ourselves, just to cope with their behavior and other dysfunctional relationships, leading to the point where we finally manage to change character and an equally unsavory alternative, and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but the point, you get the idea. I sent this. And then they have an understanding now, very personal, very family-run business. They understand now what's going on, or she does. I don't think she's going to share with anybody else, so that's fine. So that's that. That's this entire thing over here. Let's move on to other portions of philosophy. So that's psychiatry. I was to talk about employment. Now we move to philosophy. So skilled reflections. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. By Bruce Lee, martial artist, of course, as usual, one of the most famous. And that is, again, pretty straightforward. There's not a lot to interpret there, but again, copyright notice, neither of these are my own. This is not my material. This is still reflections. Check it out on Instagram. Copyright notice also for University of Waterloo Engineering right here. Paula Barbie, that's an interesting name. PhD Civil and Engineering, PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering. So graduate, congratulations there. But obviously, these are one of those promotional things for women in engineering. Again, I know that the whole social movement has been taken way too far. It's annoying now. But, you know, if we just take it for what it is here and forget about politics for a moment, just congratulations to Paula. Now, I just showcase this because, once again, these are things relevant to me. So, University of Waterloo Engineering, Stored Reflections, and School of Life. So, those are only 3 pages I follow at all. Alright, moving on. More digital assets. This has to do with the waste management disposal. So, why don't I pull up the photography there for a session, and you can see here waste management. This is the brochure that she gave over to me, a calendar actually for waste disposal for the city that I'm living in. So this is the services, another waste management right here. So household collection, day 2, all that kind of stuff for 2021. And at the very back, what you would find is the phone center number right here. So right there, you see the numbers, and you can call 311 a division, and that would be basically all the utilities, services, waste disposal, hydro, and so on and so forth. And so I added that number over to my personal phone. So that's right here, CTSP, standing for City Blah Services and Program. So that's what that's all about. And of course, I had the phone call here, so I had to showcase that just a little bit. So moving on, let's get rid of all this stuff. So the photography is done through, and I'm going to get into the last bit of photography before I move to segment 8. And so it is food, class 2 items, meaning for my domestic guardians, carries a lot of emotional baggage, personal insecurities, so on and so forth. You can see here there's a tuna sandwich, as well as with tuna sandwich inside with at the very bottom, soup, traditional Chinese soup with pork chunk and red and green leafy vegetables. So right here, so we'll just say choy, that's all it is. So basically over here we have some sandwich here. On the side we have well, you can't see on the inside. I'm trying to show you what's on the inside. You can see a little bit. So it's like purple white onions, as well as in the middle over this rye bread. That's a class 1 item. Actually the bread is class 1, not class 2. That's my own bread. So basically it's something that yeah, right, class 2. Class 1. So here you can see inside right now. So there's a tuna with Caesar with black pepper, as well as I believe Caesar salad dressing, black pepper, white onions, and tuna fish, of course, over this prebiotic fiber-rich bread, German brand, that I purchased myself. So that's my own stuff, but I said they can use it, and overall it's a good recommendation because one of my domestic guardians is diabetic now. So you can see right here, right, the purple onions, black pepper, green Caesar salad, that's kind of making it all moist, as well as the tuna salad, it's the tuna itself. So that's the bread, the sandwich, class 2 majority. So this is showing appreciation, gratitude. Thank you so much very much to my domestic guardians. Happy birthday to my biological mother. Hope she's gonna have hopefully a better year as things roll by. What we have here is also soup that she provided me, as well, my biological father. So we have here again 3 decades of dysfunction have led me to be uncomfortable calling them the proper terms. But anyways, here's pork chunks in the red soup, traditional Chinese soup right here, Cantonese, Hong Kong style, that kind of stuff. You can see right here, once again, very nice. Thankful, as always, have to be for no matter what it is, first world country and so on and so forth. Shelter, food, housing, and just a place to have company at the very least, even if it's broken and completely dilapidated, at least it's company, it's a relationship, and nevertheless. So we have the last class 2, and here we have some shrimp and scallops and green onions with flat pod beans. So we finally covered everything. I just want to show you a quick collage. Oh no, not everything, still. This one, we're trying to get through to this. We have only about a minute and a half. It's crazy. So this is region E3, and we have to cover this. I'm going to stand up right now. This is divide this into phase 3 right now. Move to the back side over here. We have region A3, so you can see it right on the right hand side where my hand is. So we have these pens, stationery, utensils, box cutters, safety utility knives, and so on and so forth. There's also this bag on top from Jansan Temple. So Jansan is a Buddhist temple. Okay, so that's that. And then also university coursework books. So that's in addition to that, some hardware tools right there. So that's basically a retractable tape measure. So 1, 2, 3, and here's an aerial photograph of it all. So I just pulled it out, and I'll show you in a second after this. So we're done that. That's a before snapshot, right? That's the reason why I'm showcasing this to you, is so that you can see, there you go. That's where it is. So let's just show the collage. You can see all the food, all the waste materials, all the phone calls, all the relationships, food, materials, blah, blah, blah. Gratitude, philosophy. So same thing here, materials, hardware, tools, equipment, employment, finance, recordings, the media, project itself, waste disposal, government services, everything all together. Wrap it up. Alright, back on track. We have about a minute left. So right here, as usual, I should mention that of course I've documented everything in terms of inventory and so forth into the Excel database, as well as fitness is not going too well. Well, it's getting better, but still. Alright, so back on track here. I should mention tomorrow I'll probably get the receipt for the purchase, $1,000 purchase. So on to the desktop, A788, region A8. One quick thing to mention, the lights that switched up, I have this over here, so it's a RGB color switch. So I can put this away over there on the side. Close the desk over here. That's where I got the light bulb from. And in the last 5 seconds, want to mention very briefly, got to sweep everything down there, dispose of that. And of course, this stuff came from crate over inside there, which we'll cover tomorrow morning because I don't have enough time on this live stream. So this is the Ahn Rho Project. Thank you for tuning in. We'll try this again tomorrow morning. See what we can get done tomorrow. Ciao.